Saporista are proud sponsors of the Wonderbird Show. Treat yourself to the wonderful taste of the Mediterranean, supplied by local artisans.
Hello everyone. Because we are British, can we talk about it now? The only thing we would ever talk about.
Well, I tell you what, I have that many canal boats today because of this glorious boiling hot sunshine. Paddle boaters, and canoeists.
Ooh.
And,
I think you need to see a doctor about all of that, dear.
Fishermen, not fisherman's friend. Fishermen.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. It's just, actually, I mean, and everybody's sitting out on the canal having coffee.
How good does it feel to have the sunshine?
I think everyone should now know the truth about Sherry, that Sherry actually works in the canal, don't you, Sherry? And then the people pay you.
I clean up. Should I tell you what happened the other day, though?
Oh,
go on. This is what made me cry. So, you know, there's been ducklings and everything. Yes. So the other day I took Teddy down. It was about maybe 5 o'clock, something like that. And 2 swans were sitting together in the middle of the canal. You know how they do that with their heads, kissing. And 6 cygnets were following behind. Oh. I mean, they were bigger now. They're not they're bigger and all like that with their mummy. Oh. And one got on the back of the biggest one would be the dad, I think, isn't it? Got on the back and went under the wing of the swan. And it made me cry.
Oh, how gorgeous.
And I just thought, please, God, let them get home safely wherever they're going.
Yes.
Just, so that's beautiful. My story for today.
Lovely.
Just everyone feels so much better in the sun. You just feel everything that is possible. There is some hope.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes, and on Monday we are unlocked.
I know.
Well, I don't think you've ever been locked up, darling, to be honest, Debbie. I think you've always been unlocked, if I may say.
Unlocked? Is that sort of in relation to hinges and things?
No.
Yes.
Excuse me. I'm choking. Yes, my coffee went down the wrong hole, if you excuse me.
The actress to the bishop. Dee,
what have you got to with the left hand?
Dee, what was your news?
Well, actually, I've got this. I was sent this card, a thank you card for something I did for somebody, and I thought it was so lovely. It says, "Be yourself. Everybody else is taken."
Yeah.
And it's
Oscar
a quote
Wilde,
from Oscar Wilde. Yeah. And I thought, how relevant today when we're being told to do this, do that. Look like this, look like that. It's very simple, isn't it? Just be true to yourself. That's all that matters, really. Anyway, my tip for the day, darling.
Thank you, dear.
Not your tip.
No problem.
Tip for the day.
You might get them out, Debbie. You know what she's like.
Yes,
I haven't done that for a long time.
No.
I'll wait until later.
Even the mention of the word flash and D is there. It's really weird. She's always been like that. It's very
weird. I'm a weirdo. Yeah.
Do you think we should carry on the show without her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway,
bye.
We're all delirious because the sun is out. Anyway, guys, we have a fantastic guest. He's a very, very, very old, not in age, but in terms of friendship, an old friend of mine. And those of you who watch Neighbours will know exactly who it is. It is the wonderful Stefan Dennis.
Hello.
Hi, Steph.
Hey.
Steph, we have known each other for 1,000 years, haven't we?
It's almost 1,000 years. I think it goes to BC, but yeah, it was. I'm trying to think. It must have been about 97 or 98.
Yeah.
And we met on a gig, and and I always remember. Do you know why? Because we were waiting for either a lift afterwards, or it was before we were going into the studio or whatever. And we started talking about spiritual things and this and that and the other and the world and the universe and all of that. And we just went like that. And we thought, oh, I like you. You're fun. And you mean, you're fun.
And that was it. And then by some bizarre sort of twist of fate, we were actually together when you proposed to your wife.
Yes, yes. Because thanks to you, we all went on a fun cruise on the QE2 when it was still in commission. And oh God, what a cruise. And Nikki Sandon, remember, she was with us as well.
Yeah.
And and it was the night of we had the captain's cocktail party. And so Gail was dolled up to the nines, and I was dolled up to the nines. And afterwards I said, let's go for a walk up on the top deck. And she was like, oh, all right, that sounds like a lovely idea. And we went up top, and there was a billion stars out there, and we were on the top deck at the QE2 in the high seas. And I said, will you? And she said, hang on a second, whoa. If you think if you're doing what I think you're doing, you've got to get down on one knee. And I had to do the whole thing formally. You didn't know about this. You were all downstairs going, woo, and I'm up there romantically giving myself to Gail. And she said, and yeah, and so I had to do the whole thing formally. And she said, and I did it down on one knee. And then she said, now the very next thing is you have to ask my dad's permission first.
Oh.
So how old fashioned was she?
Lovely. Oh.
And then your wedding was just incredible, Steph, wasn't it?
Wasn't it fun?
Yeah.
I always say to people when people talk about their weddings, and they say, and I said, you have to make sure it's the best party you ever go to. And I firmly believe that your own wedding should be the best party you ever go to. And it was, well, yeah, I think it was up there. I think probably was.
It was the Ceilidh, which I'd never been to before. And the great thing about a Ceilidh that I loved so much was the fact that you meet so many people, don't you?
Yeah.
Normally you were in your own place, but this time you're all dancing and throwing each other around.
Do
you mean a Ceilidh as in the Irish Ceilidh? When you go,
well, Scottish in this sense, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing.
Let's call it Scottish barn dancing, really.
It was so much fun stuff. But Steph, now sorry to ask you an obvious question. Why are you in bed?
Oh, do you know, this is funny because Friday evening, I've got my glass of wine.
Yeah.
Glass of red wine. And I'm in bed because this is the only place in the whole house that I can get some peace and quiet. You should see the rig I've got here. It's just hilarious the way I've got the laptop set up and all the lights and everything. And because we're in bloody lockdown again.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
What's happened?
Yeah, no, what happens is Victoria is very sensible, because what happens is, sorry to talk about COVID and all of that, we're all sick of it, but we have, as soon as there's any cases at all, like there was less than 10 cases, I think, and they went, right, bang, lockdown. And we have short, sharp lockdowns, and they're really effective. So we kind of, as much as they're frustrating in that, we kind of, one, we're used to it, and two, we kind of go, you know what, yeah, we'll live with that, because we know in a week's time we're all going to be free and easy again. And that's the way it goes. Whereas New South Wales, who we're kind of having a bit of a chuckle at the moment, because they've been flinging it over our way for the last month, so many months, going, look at you guys, and they've been supposedly capable. Well, now they're in hard lockdown for. I think it's been 3 weeks and it's going again. I think they're extending it for another 2 weeks or something, because they didn't do what we do.
So these short lockdowns, what actually happens in them? Everything is completely locked down, or can you go to work? What happens?
Essential travel only.
Right.
To the supermarket for food. Do you know the funny thing? And I would imagine it would have been the same over there, because you guys have just come out of lockdown, haven't you?
Yeah.
And so did it make you laugh that in the line of essential supplies, booze was one of the high requirements? It's like Dan Murphy made a fortune. Over here, we've got a liquor barn chain called Dan Murphy, and I think they were probably the richest out of the entire COVID event.
That's extraordinary. I want to ask you, darling, because we've all watched Neighbours and adore it, and now it's a family business, because Declan is in there.
Declan's been, well, it's funny because, and more recently, my other son, Cameron, has been in it.
Yeah,
and that's a different story again. Yeah.
So it's a complete big family business.
Debbie would remember Cameron. You haven't seen Declan. I don't think you've met Declan yet.
No.
But Cameron would have been just over a year old when you last saw him. Well, he's now at university. So and so he was trying to get a part-time job just to sort of make ends meet while he was at university. And lo and behold, long story short, he's now doing extra work on Neighbours. And it's absolutely fabulous, because it's a no-brainer. He just goes on, dresses up, goes in the background, does that. Everybody loves him, walks out. Thank you very much. I'll have some pay.
So it is a
and he doesn't have any homework. He doesn't have any, so it doesn't interfere with his university at all.
Amazing.
But yeah, Declan, sorry, getting back to you, Harriet, with Declan, he was, he actually went for the part of Emmett, the young boy, but they said he was too old. His look was just that little bit too old for the character of Emmett. So he, so they said, look, you know, there's this other character, and we'd like your son to play that. So that was fine. And he went and he got the audition. Everybody thinks that, you know, Dad got him the audition. Dad just got him straight into the show because of my standing with the show. And it wasn't. It was, and I said to him, and I've said to all the kids, it's like, if you ever want to get into show business, that's fine. Mum and I aren't going to hold you back at all. In fact, we'll do anything, you know, everything to encourage you. But you must do it on your own, just the same as everybody else has to.
Yeah.
So he did. He went to the audition. The only thing I did was take him. You know, I drove him there and drove him home. But I helped him with his lines, and he went and did it. And
you,
and
I know,
scored the
because
part.
you coach him a bit, don't you, as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it's great because both boys run my lines with me.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes Gail will do it, and sometimes it'll be Declan, and Declan gets very theatrical. Cameron just sort of runs the lines just to sort of make sure that I learn the lines, and that's it. And that's all. Is that done? Yep. Okay, no worries. Whereas Declan's like, he gets right into it and he plays the part. And he might be reading three different parts. What does it feel like to have your generation, and now the generation that you've created step in? Because also, you know, there's other members who have their children there. Like Jason has his daughter there as well, and she got which
it's fantastic.
which is. I'm mortified that Jason's daughter in, not because Gemma's absolutely gorgeous, so it's not the fact that she's in it, but the fact that she's playing my granddaughter.
Oh.
Oh my God! How can we get this?
That's so
anyway.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We all feel the same.
But yeah, and it's very much in the family, isn't it? And consequently, Jason and I, because Jason and I have been in touch over the years, but we kind of, you know, drifted apart a wee bit, and this has brought us right back together again.
Of course.
You know, I saw Jason when I was last in the UK, and I see him on what do you call it, Facebook, when Gemma's Facebooking or FaceTiming him just about every day, and so I have quick chats to him there and there. But it's very much the family business, isn't it? We've got Jason's
that continuity.
Sibling.
Yeah.
So yeah. Jason's kids in there, my kids in there, and of course Gail's been in there as well. I don't know if you knew that. So the whole family. The only one that in my family who hasn't been in Neighbours now is Darcy. So I better start working on that, eh?
I was going to say, just
that brings me to my question, because I was just going to say, since when are you called Darcy? Because you've got Darcy Dennis on your photograph.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. It's because it's really weird. It's my laptop. Oh, it does too. I've just clicked onto them.
Yeah, it says Darcy.
Oh dear. There you go. Well, it's funny because I bought this laptop because I've got, I don't know, a Series 2000 BC model, and it was time to upgrade it. So I thought, I'll just get another laptop. And I bought this one. And then the other one started coming good again. I went, oh, well, here. I said, well, Gail, you have this one. So she took it. And then Darcy took that off her. So I'm borrowing my laptop off Darcy.
Oh. So I wanted to say to you, because when I was in the street, I was in it for about 5 years. And I remember at the time, people trying to get the crossover between the soaps, you know, with particularly Neighbours and Coronation Street. And every year it was, you know, we were all sort of suggested that you could go. I played a character called Maureen Holsworth, and I was married to Reg Holsworth. And it was we were going to go over, because we had a corner shop, to Australia, and whoever from you could, and they never got it. And I never understand why they didn't cross over.
No, and it's a shame, because it actually works well for both shows. And I think the problem is, and it's because it actually, and it wasn't so much a crossover of characters, because they played different characters, but Craig McLachlan, Guy Pearce, and then Rebecca, obviously, from Home and Away. But you know, Guy and Craig went on to Home and Away, and Rebecca came from Home and Away to us. I mean, a long time in between. But so it did work in that sense. But I think as far as the crossover of characters, I could never understand that as well. And it's funny you should say this, Sherry, because I actually used to bang on to the producers about that, going, why don't we do a crossover of characters into other shows, be it you know, other Fremantle shows or whatever, you know, BBC show. And because what it does is it cross promotes both shows, and it makes suddenly all the people that watch Coronation Street suddenly go, oh, hang on, I might have a bit of a squeeze at Neighbours, and vice versa. All the people that watch Neighbours go, oh, hang on, Coronation Street looks all right. Yeah.
I know, because you came over and did Panto. You did Panto here, so you know that would have been a great kind of you know, if you'd have gone into Corrie for a while and done Panto here, and wouldn't that have worked really well?
Yeah, I would have ended up staying. Oh, that's what I did. I was there for 12 years.
Did you enjoy Panto? Did you like coming here to do Panto?
I did. I've got to admit, because Panto in Australia is it never took off for well, I do know the reason. The reason being is because it's in the middle of summer. Our Christmas holidays are in the middle of summer. People don't want to go and sit in theatres for 3 hours, jump up and down, and you know, get Yahoo at a Panto. They want to be out at the beach or wherever. So, because I remember Paul Elliott, who was a big Panto producer, who did I did 3 or 4 with Paul, and he tried to get it over here, and he put big names. He put Bert Newton and I can't remember, but big names in this Panto, and Cinderella, I think it was, at the State Theatre in Sydney or wherever it was, the Opera House, and it just didn't work. It's the Australians never quite got it, and then Bonnie Lithgow tried it more recently, and then she got very. Yeah, she got very close to actually getting the Australians to get it, because Australians are, it's weird, we'll go to a rock concert and it's like, whoa, yeah, and they'll get right into it, and audience participation. But as soon as Australians are at a play or a musical, it's like, hang on, no, I paid the ticket, you entertain me. And and so they don't get the whole it's behind you and oh no you don't. And
but wouldn't it be okay? Wouldn't it be okay if we came over to you in your winter? Wouldn't that work?
Yeah. I don't know why they've never. You know, they've several places have adopted the idea of Christmas in July over here because it makes sense.
Yeah.
See, the weird thing is, and that's what I can never understand. Do you know we grow up in Australia where it is hot. It's never been cold at Christmas time. It is always hot.
Yeah.
And yet, when the idea of our Christmas decorations, our shop windows, and all, it's all to do with winter and snow and European or American style winter. It's weird, yeah. And that's why I love when I was both living there and more recently when I've been going back to the UK. I just adore it when I go there in December around Christmas time. It's just, I love it. Europe and the UK know how to do Christmas because you do it at the right time.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Why was I talking about Christmas?
Well, Steph, you had a big hit, didn't you? Here, because you're a fantastically accomplished musician. You play pipes on organ, don't you? Is that correct?
Oh, you play your organ, Steph.
Can we phrase that?
Excuse me.
That was your organ.
I've never played with my organ, not in public.
Well, I was going to say.
It's no. I would love to have played the keyboards. I'd love to know how to play the keyboards. I think it'd be brilliant. No, I'm a drummer. I'm a very bad drummer. Yeah. In fact, it's funny. It's funny because right at this moment we're trying to find out a game because I've got a house full of people. I can't play the drums because I haven't got around to building the studio in the East Wing yet. So I've got nowhere. So if I want to have a hit on the drums, the house has got to be empty. Fortunately, my neighbours are sort of far enough away not to worry. But a house full of people, no, that doesn't mix. So I'm teaming up with one of our sound editors and a music editor at work who play the guitar and the bass. And I'm going to take my drums, go to try and set up in one of the studios at the studios, just so that we can jam and actually make some music because it's I never get to play.
Amazing.
Mind you, I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty dreadful at drumming.
I'm sure you're not. Do you think you could take it out on the road? The band.
Take it. Yeah. Give me a year of practice with the boys, maybe.
Great. We'll come and do your BVs.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Steph, Steph, do you have any plans to come back here?
Oh God, yeah. If we're ever allowed, if we're ever allowed let out of Australia, then yeah, I'd love to. I don't know if I'll ever go back and live. I mean, I could do, well, you know only too well, I could do Scotland in a heartbeat. I could live in Scotland quite easy. I said to Gail, I would live in Scotland in a heartbeat on the condition that I got away to the tropics at least twice a year.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freeze to death.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, no, but I love it. I love it. But I understand that, you know, when you live in, it's great to go and visit somewhere like Scotland or Canada or Lapland or something. And you go, oh, snow, isn't it magical? Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then after sort of 6 months and 12 months, you go, bloody snow.
Yeah. Well, I've got some news. There might be a cruise coming up when we're allowed to cruise. So I should, will you come?
Yeah.
We'd love
Oh,
it.
wow.
No, I mean, the Wonderbirds will be on a cruise and Steph will be with us because you're so much fun to have around, Steph. Actually, I suddenly remembered on that, wasn't that the cruise that we went on where we went through the Bay of Biscay and we were all sitting around a table and then we all disappeared?
We were getting stonkingly drunk, but do you not remember when we went around the Bay of Biscay and we were actually, where we were was the officers.
Yes.
I can't remember what party it was, and they're all there, and all the officers' wives and everybody, and I still to this day remember, because somebody had said, oh, you know, we're coming around the bay and such and that, but they hadn't said that there was a storm as well, and I suddenly saw all the officers just very subtly part their legs, part their feet, and just plant themselves, and sure enough, within 30 seconds, the first pitch of the ship came, and it just, I don't know if you remember, but it just went up in the air and fell. It was unbelievable.
I remember, Steph, on that cruise I was with Debbie when we went to New York, one of the officers came to me and said, listen, we're going to go through the Bay of Biscay. Let me give you a tip. He said, I'll take you there myself. We have to go to the middle of the ship and we have to sit on the floor, and so that we're in the middle of the ship, so you don't tip one way or the other.
Or the other,
really? And then I realised he was as pissed as I was. And I believed him. We were both ill.
I was going to say, probably ended up rolling around.
We did. He was very nice.
Literally went like that. It went, whoa. It's quite terrifying.
Well, I ended up that morning. I mean, it was such a ferocious storm as we went through there. And I remember I was up in the bridge with the first mate at about 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm fascinated by ships and all of that.
Me too.
And we were talking because my dad, when he was alive, was naval captain as well. So I've got this fascination of all of that. And I remember sitting up in the bridge, looking to the front of the QE2, which is an enormous boat, as you knew. And just seeing this thing rise and smash down in these, they must have been 30, 40 foot waves. I'm not exaggerating at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely not exaggerating.
Amazing.
It was incredible. And the other memory I have of your wedding is Neil Fox sitting without his underwear in his coat. And
Really?
I've still got the snapshot.
Oh,
it was
awful.
Because we didn't realise that until we got all these pictures, Steph. And there he was with his legs akimbo. We all went, ooh.
Well, yeah, it's because he was trying to get this shot, and he was sort of leaning around, not realising that he had his legs wide apart with the tradition of the kilt. It was quite fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, you couldn't eat your breakfast after that, could you?
No. Well, that was we're all the lads. I think the only one who was wearing trousers was Jim, who actually wore the tartan trousers. He didn't wear a kilt.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Wow.
It was in a castle, wasn't it, Steph?
Yeah, Borthwick Castle, which is just kind of south of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Wow.
The thing was, I said, because there's a lot of castles in Scotland, as you know, but so many of them have been renovated from inside. So on the outside, they look like castles, but when you go inside, they look like hotels.
Yeah.
And I said to Gail, I've always wanted to get married in a castle. And I said, but I want a castle to look like a castle. And she spent a month and finally found Borthwick Castle. And it was the only one that, as you know, if you took out the electric lights and some of the furniture, you'd step back 600 years.
Yeah. Oh,
amazing.
wow. What a place to get
Fabulous.
married.
Absolutely incredible. Oh, but Steph, listen, you have been the most fantastic guest. We can't wait to get this
Thank
cruise
you.
sorted to get you and Gail on it again.
Oh,
You'll have to-
my hand is definitely up.
You'll have to redo your vows for us, won't you?
All right, there's an idea.
Yeah.
Bingo.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Sold.
There's the
Done.
reason.
Sign
Yeah.
the contract.
Give Gail a huge kiss from me. I miss her. She's the most wonderful, wonderful girl. She's fabulous.
She's still a
Gorgeous.
treasure.
Oh,
She's an absolute treasure.
you were
Oh,
very lucky.
Lovely.
Yeah, lucky to find she's drop dead gorgeous as you are. And Steph, you've been the greatest guest, and we speak to you.
Oh,
very
you guys
soon.
are fantastic. It's lovely meeting all the other guys.
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Nice to
We'll
meet
be on
you.
a ship soon, all of us together.
Have another
Yes,
couple
with
of
red
glasses
wine.
of wine, darling. Couple of more glasses of wine. There you go.
Yay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, Steph.
Cheers.
Lovely to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Steph.
See you guys. Take it
Bye,
easy.
bye,
Bye.
bye.
Oh, how
Oh.
amazing. I love that time travel between here and Australia. That's so amazing that we can just, do you remember as young girls, if you tried to ring America,
Yeah.
you'd dial it and then you'd hear the C, what sounded like the C, and
Yes.
then occasionally you'd hear every other word and that would be that. Whereas now you just
Absolutely.
turn on your computer
Nothing.
and you're in
It doesn't mean
Australia.
anything.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Anyway, he's
Absolutely
fab.
incredible.
Isn't he the most lovely man? He is
Yeah,
I
just
bet
Yes,
it's
it
great
is.
on a cruise as well because he must be such fun.
he's
Yeah,
amazing
exactly.
fun. He is
Right.
absolutely amazing fun, and
Sherry,
very, very spiritual, very into spirituality, and
Is he?
talk to him about anything. He
Bring
really
your
is one of
crystals,
us.
Dee. Get
Shall
your
I
crystals.
meditate now then?
No, please
No.
don't. Sherry, I love the idea of you sitting pissed in the middle of the boat.
I know. I never forgot it. But I didn't realise that he was pissed. And I totally believed him. And I tell everybody, if there's a storm, sit in the middle of a boat on the floor. But it's not true at
It's a
all.
good idea.
Well, in
I
fact,
think that
if
it
there is
works.
a storm on the ship, what you should do is you should look into the sea. Apparently, you
Oh,
should look
no.
at the waves. But that
Well,
It's in the
there are
daytime, I
there are
suppose.
so many different
Yeah.
things that you should do. But anyway,
Is it true that if you have seasickness once, you don't get it again? Because
no.
I was very ill in the Bay of Biscuit. I was banking on that.
No,
I was very
they
sick.
they do give you pills on the boat though to stop that. Now.
Do
they give you
I was a kid.
Fennigan tablets.
Fennigan. As soon as you get on, they give you Fennigan.
Oh, good.
Begin again.
They
You know,
didn't in my
actually
day.
on Saga, the minute you arrive, actually, they give you a little packet. You have your seasickness pills there and then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
A lot
kind of.
of
And
boats
the
do.
thing is, you should really take them the minute you get on board, even if you
Yeah.
aren't seasick.
They do
Yes,
make you go
yes.
to sleep though, Dee. So you end up sleeping most of the cruise.
Oh, maybe that's a good thing or not.
That and a glass of wine, and you
Oh.
kind of don't care.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Don't
girls,
even know you're on a boat.
yes, a ship. It's a ship.
Yeah. Oh, it's a ship.
It's
Ship,
very
sorry.
important to call it a ship.
Yes.
Anyway,
Richard.
so we've got Richard. Richard's back tomorrow. Hooray! To talk to
Yay!
us about some other
Yes.
rubbish that we talked about on Saturday
Yes.
morning.
Cannot
A
wait.
load of rubbish.
A loud
That's
rubbish.
right.
We'll see you tomorrow. See you
Rubbish
tomorrow.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Saporista are proud sponsors of the Wonderbird Show. Treat yourself to the wonderful taste of the Mediterranean, supplied by local artisans,